Bekostigbare gehalte teen R269,000 BTW uitgesluit, BSMV's geld. JAG.TV Financial, finansiering gebou vir jou. In our previous visit with WRSA President and game farmer Tebogo Mogashoa,
I've had to employ some of my experience in business into my game breeding and farming enterprise. If we could see more black hunters and more black people, seeking more and more wildlife experiences in our country, I believe that will stimulate the necessary demand in order to fuel our industry going forward. For if we are to define ourselves as successful as an industry, we need to demonstrate how well we look after the poor people in our communities by way of not only creating jobs for them, but also creating sustainable livelihoods.
He tells us about his specific objectives for WRSA.
Well, as President of Wildlife Ranching South Africa, I've made it a specific objective of my term of office to build a more responsive wildlife ranching South Africa. I mean, we want to listen to our members, we want to communicate better with our members, and we want to grow our membership beyond even just game farmers. We think that our organization has a much wider appeal than just to game farmers, especially when it comes to demand stimulation. I'd like to put, transformation at the top of the agenda. Together with my colleagues in the board of directors, we agree that we have got to change the ownership patterns of our operations as well as the consumption patterns. Getting more black people involved as consumers and as investors in the industry, as well as to advocate for unity in the industry with the hunting federation, as well as the ecotourism providers. Value is important for anybody in any ecosystem. We're working closely with developmental finance institutions to establish a financing mechanism for wildlife ranching. I would like to see that as something that we can give back, or an incentive for our members to belong, in order to assist them to access certain financing for their operations. Because I believe, an ungeared industry will always be limited in terms of its growth and ability to expand if it only runs on a cash basis, which is really how our industry runs, today. So some of the value we'd like to deliver to our members is to create an enabling environment for them in order to be able to, to gear their businesses, much like other farmers in other sectors of the economy. The wildlife industry is underpinned by the four main pillars, being the live game sales and game breeding, the hunting, ecotourism, as well as game meat products and taxidermy. I think there's opportunity to introduce gearing into any of these sectors. And most of our members do participate in one or more of these sectors. The idea is for farmers to decide in which of these sectors they would like to concentrate their businesses so as to realize their full potential. The gearing that can be introduced into the sector will then be driven by the economics that are derived out of a particular sector. But our vision is to create a bold plan in order to create an enabling environment for the DFIs to access this economic activity that we believe can really be a game changer for the economy of South Africa. But there are conditions to this success. The collective leadership of government, industry, and the finance world needs to work in harmony in order to realize this ultimate goal that we see as WRSA. Our industry is really premised on the principle of sustainable utilization. Sustainable utilization refers to the commercialization of our wildlife through the 4 pillars that we've just elaborated into, as well as reinvesting in our people and the environment. So the overall concept of the wildlife industry ultimately feeds into the conservation success story of South Africa that we have seen since the beginning of the establishment of the national parks, that fed into the establishment of private wildlife ranching and private ownership of animals that has resulted in this great conservation success story, as well as a great commercial farming story for South Africa.
Bekostigbare gehalte teen R269,000 BTW uitgesluit, BSMV's geld. John Deere Financial, finansiering gebou vir jou.